Nehemyah, Nehemiah, chapters 11 through 13. Nehemyah, Nehemiah, chapter 11. Now the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 out of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the Kodesh city, and 9/10 were to dwell in other cities. And the people baruch all the men who volunteered to dwell at Jerusalem. And these are the heads of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem. But in the cities of Yahudah everyone dwelt in his own possession in their cities. Yisrael, the Kohanim, and the Levites, and the Nethinim, and the sons of Shalomo's servants. And in Jerusalem dwelt certain of the children of Yahudah and of the children of Benjamin. Of the children of Yahudah, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, of the children of Perez. And Maaseiah, son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Chazaiah, son of Adaiah, son of Yoyariv, son of Zechariah, son of Shilonai. Of the sons of Perez who dwelt at Jerusalem were 468 brave men. And these are the sons of Benjamin: Salu, son of Meshulam, son of Yawed, son of Pedaiah, son of Kolaiah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithiel, son of Yeshua. And after him, Gabai, Salai, 928. And Yoel, son of Zikri, was their overseer, and Yahudah, son of Senuah, was second over the city. Of the Kohanim, Yediah, son of Yoyariv, Yachim, Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshulam, son of Zadok, son of Merayoth, son of Achituv, was the leader of the house of Elohim. And their brothers who did the work of the house were 822. And Adaiah, son of Yeroham, son of Hallel Yah, son of Amzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashhur, son of Melchiah, and his brothers, heads of the fathers, were 242. And Amashazai, son of Azarel, son of Achzai, son of Meshillamoth, son of Imir, and their brothers, mighty brave ones, were 128. And their overseer was Zebdiel, son of the great ones. Also of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Chashuv, son of Azrikam, son of Hashaviah, son of Bunai, and Shevetai, and Yozavad, of the heads of the Levites, over the outside work of the house of Elohim. And Mataniah, son of Mikha, son of Zebdai, son of Asaph, who was the leader who began the thanksgiving with prayer, and Bakbukiah, the second among his brothers, and Avdah, son of Shamuah, son of Galal, son of Yeduthan. Of the Levites in the Kodesh city were 284, and the gatekeepers, Akuv, Talmon, and their brothers keeping guard at the gates were 172. And the rest of Yisrael of the Kohanim, Levites, were in all the cities of Yahudah, each one in his inheritance. But the Nethinim dwelt in Ophel, and Zichah and Gishpa were over the Nethinim. And the overseer of the Levites at Jerusalem was Uzai, son of Benai, son of Hashaviah, son of Mattaniah, son of Mikha. Of the sons of Asaph, the singers were over the work of the house of Elohim, for the sovereign's command was upon them, and support for the singers, a matter day by day. And Pethahiah, son of Meshezevel, of the children of Zerach, son of Yahudah, was the sovereign's deputy in all matters concerning the people. And at the villages with their fields, some of the children of Yahudah dwelt in Kiriath ha-Arba and its villages, and in Divon and its villages, and in Yekavzeel and its villages, and in Yeshua, and in Moladah, and in Beeth Pelet, and in Chazar Shual, and in Beersheba and its villages, and in Ziglag, and in Mekonah and its villages, and in An Ramon, and in Zorah, and in Yarmuth, Zenoach, Adulam, and their villages, in Lachish and its fields, in Ezekah and its villages. So they dwelt from Beersheba to the valley of Hinnom. And the children of Benjamin from Givah, Michmash, and Ayah, and Bethel, and their villages, Anatot, Nob, Ananiah, Chazor, Ramah, Gittayim, Chadid, Zeboim, Nebalat, Lod, and Ono, Geha-Charashim. And of the Levites, the divisions of Yehudah were for Benjamin. Nehemiah, chapter 12. And these were the Kohanim and the Levites who came up with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Yeshua, Seraiah, Yirmiah, Ezra, Amariah, Meluch, Chatush, Zechariah, Rehum, Meremoth, Ido, Ginethoi, Aviah, Miamin, Maadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, and Yoyariv, Yediah, Selu, Amok, Chilkiah, and Yediah. These were the heads of the Kohanim and their brothers in the days of Yeshua. And the Levites, Yeshua, Binuai, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Yehudah, Mattaniah, over the thanksgiving, he and his brothers. And Babukiah and Unai, their brothers, were opposite them for guard duties. And Yeshua brought forth Joachim, and Joachim brought forth Eliashiv, and Eliashiv brought forth Joiada, and Joiada brought forth Jonathan, and Jonathan brought forth Yaddua. And in the days of Joachim, the Kohanim, the heads of the fathers were of Seraiah, Meriah, of Yirmiah, Hananiah, of Ezra, Meshulam, of Amariah, Yehochanan, of Melichu, Jonathan, of Shevaniah, Yosef, of Charim, Adonai, of Merioth, Chilkai, of Ido, Zechariah, of Ginnathon, Meshulam, of Aviah, Zikri, of Minyamin, of Moadiah, Piltai, of Bilgah, Shamuah, of Shemiah, Yahonathan, of Yoyariv, Mattanai, of Yediah, Uzai, of Salai, Kaulai, of Emok, Eber, of Hilkiah, Hashabiah, and of Yediah, Nethanel. The Levites and Kohanim in the days of Eliashiv, Yoiada, Yohanan, and Yaddua were recorded heads of their fathers, also the Kohanim in the reign of Darius the Parsian. The sons of Levi, the heads of the fathers, until the days of Yohanan, son of Eliashiv, were written in the book of the Annals. And the heads of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Yeshua, son of Kadmiel, with their brothers opposite them, to praise, to give thanks, watch opposite watch, according to the command of David, the man of Elohim. Mattaniah and Babukiah, Obadiah, Meshulam, Talmon, Akuv were gatekeepers guarding at the storerooms of the gates. These were in the days of Joachim, son of Yeshua, son of Yozadak, and in the days of Nehemyah the governor, and of Ezra the Kohen, the scribe. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought out the Levites in all their places to bring them to Jerusalem to perform the dedication with gladness and with thanksgivings and with singing, cymbals, harps, and lyres. And the sons of the singers gathered together from the countryside around Jerusalem, from the villages of the Netophathites, and from Beth Gilgal, and from the fields of Givah and Azmaweth, for the singers had built themselves villages all around Jerusalem. And the Kohanim and Levites cleansed themselves, and they cleansed the people, and the gates, and the wall. And I brought the rulers of Yehudah up on the wall, and appointed 2 large thanksgiving choirs to go to the right on the wall toward the dung gate. And after them went Hoshaiah and half of the rulers of Yehudah, then Azariah, Ezra, and Meshulam, Yehudah, and Benjamin, and Shemaiah, and Yirmiah, and of the sons of the Kohanim with trumpets, Zechariah, son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zekur, son of Asaph, and his brothers Shemaiah and Azarel, Milalai, Gilalai, Ma'ai, Nethanel, and Yehudah, Hanani, with instruments of songs of David, the man of Elohim, with Ezra the scribe before them. And at the fountain gate and straight ahead of them, they went up the stairs of the city of David on the stairway of the wall beyond the house of David as far as the water gate eastward. And the other thanksgiving choir went over against them, and I behind them with half of the people on the wall, going past the tower of the ovens as far as the broad wall, and above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananeel, and the tower of Meah, as far as the sheep gate. And they stood still at the gate of the prison. Then the 2 thanksgiving choirs took their stand in the house of Elohim, and I and half of the deputy rulers with me, and the Kohanim, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Minyamin, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with trumpets, and Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzai, and Yehohanan, and Melchiah, and Elam, and Ezer. And the singers sang aloud with Yisrachiah in charge. And on that day they brought great offerings and rejoiced, for Elohim had made them rejoice with great joy. And the women and the children also rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard far away. And on that day some were appointed over the rooms for the stores, for the contributions, for the firstfruits, and for the tithes, to gather into them from the fields of the cities the portions required by the Torah for the Kohanim and for the Levites. For Yahudah rejoiced over the Kohanim and the Levites who stood up. Both the singers and the gatekeepers guarded the charge of their Elohim and the charge of the cleansing, according to the command of David and Shalomo his son. For in the days of David and Asaph of old there were chiefs of the singers, and songs of praise and thanksgiving to Elohim. And in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemyah, all Yisrael gave the portions for the singers and the gatekeepers, a portion for each day. And they kadosh what was for the Levites, and the Levites kadosh what was for the children of Aharon. Nehemiah, chapter 13. On that day was read from the book of Moshe in the hearing of the people, and in it was found written that an Ammonites and Moabites should not come into the assembly of Elohim forever, because they had not met the children of Yisrael with bread and water, and hired Balaam against them to curse them, although our Elohim turned the curse into a barakah. And it came to be, when they had heard the Torah, that they separated all the mixed multitude from Yisrael. And before this, Eliashiv the Kohen, having authority over the storerooms of the house of our Elohim, was a relative of Tobiah, and he had prepared for him a large room, where previously they had stored the grain offerings, the frankincense, and the utensils, and the tithes of grain, the new wine, and the oil, which were commanded to the Levites, and the singers, and the gatekeepers, and the contributions for the Kohanim. But in all this I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, sovereign of Babel, I came to the sovereign, and after some days I obtained my request of the sovereign, and I came to Jerusalem and learned of the evil which Eliashiv had done for Tobiah in preparing a room for him in the courts of the house of Elohim. And it was very displeasing to me. Therefore I threw all the household goods of Tobiah out of the room, and I commanded them to cleanse the rooms. And I put back into them the utensils of the house of Elohim, with the grain offering and the frankincense. And I learned that the portions for the Levites had not been given them, for each of the Levites and the singers who did the work had gone back to his field. Then I contended with the deputy rulers and said, "Why is the house of Elohim forsaken?" And I gathered them together and stood them in their place. And all Yahudah brought the tithe of the grain and the new wine and the oil to the storehouse. And I appointed as treasurers over the storehouse Shelemiah the Kohen, and Zadok the scribe, and Pedaiah of the Levites. And next to them was Hanan son of Zakur son of Mattaniah, for they were reckoned trustworthy, and it was on them to distribute to their brothers. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this, and do not wipe out my kind deeds that I have done for the house of my Elohim and for its charges. In those days I saw in Yehudah those treading wine presses on the Shabbat, and bringing in sheaves, and loading donkeys with wine, grapes, and figs, and all kinds of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Shabbat day. So I warned on the day they sold food. And men of Zor dwelt there, bringing in fish and all kinds of goods, and sold them on the Shabbat to the children of Yehudah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Yehudah, and said to them, What evil matter is this that you are doing, profaning the Shabbat day? Did not your fathers do the same, so that our Elohim brought all this evil on us and on this city? Yet you bring added wrath on Yisrael by profaning the Shabbat. And it came to be at the gates of Jerusalem, as it began to be dark before the Shabbat, that I commanded the gates to be shut, and commanded that they should not be opened till after the Shabbat. And I stood some of my servants at the gates, so that no burdens would be brought in on the Shabbat day. And the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares spent the night outside Jerusalem once or twice. And I warned them and said to them, Why do you spend the night around the wall? If you do so again, I lay hands on you. From that time on they came no more on the Shabbat. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and they should come guarding the gates to Kadosh the Shabbat day. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this also, and pardon me according to the greatness of your kindness. In those days I also saw Yahudim who married women of Ashdod, Ammon, Moab, and half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod, and could not speak the language of Yehudah, but spoke according to the language of the other people. Then I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote some of them, and pulled out their hair, and made them swear by Elohim, saying, You do not give your daughters as wives to their sons, nor take their daughters for your sons or yourselves. Did not Shlomo, sovereign of Israel, sin because of them? Among the many nations there was no sovereign like him, who was beloved of his Elohim, and Elohim made him sovereign over all Israel. Even him foreign women caused to sin. Should we then hear of your doing all this great evil, trespassing against our Elohim by marrying foreign wives? And one of the sons of Yoyada, son of Eliashiv, the Kohen Hagadol, was a son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite, and I drove him from me. Remember them, O my Elohim, because they have defiled the Kehunah and the covenant of the Kehunah and of the Levites. Thus I cleansed them from all that is foreign, and I appointed duties to the Kohanim and the Levites, each in his task, and for the wood offering and the firstfruits at appointed times. Remember me, O my Elohim, for good.